presentation. Without further ado, we're running a little late, so I'll go ahead and immediately introduce Justin Fong, who is the CEO of Hue AI and Hue Lens, and Dr. Keenan Valentine, and he'll explain who Keenan is, and we'll go from there. Well, go ahead, Mr. Fong.
Hi there. Yeah, I'm Justin Fong, and both Dr. Valentine and I are the founders of a company called Hue Lens. We are a lens technology company, a lens supplier, a designer of next generation technology, and we've got a lot of really cool things to show you. I brought our CTO, Dr. Keenan Valentine, here because he is the world's foremost expert on the integration of artificial intelligence when designing lenses, and then also optimizing for human color vision. And he is also the inventor of all of these technologies that we do and work with in the performance vision space. So, Keenan, do you want to say hello?
Hi there. Welcome to our panel. And Justin will be presenting some information from our company, and Dr. Loma will be asking and leading the direction. So in the Q&A session, if there are any technical questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, first of all, how long has your company been in business, Mr. Fong?
So we started the company in 2018, and Dr. Valentine and I are experts in the use of artificial intelligence in the industrial space, which is a very specific area. And we became quite interested in how we can use it for a healthcare application, and then also to better people's lives through products, rather than what was very in vogue at the time, the working with the stock market or better search engines and so on. So we wanted to really find a way to directly help people, and we found that, hey, we can use this new methodology, this new technology born out of Silicon Valley, and apply it to really kind of move the ball forward in this space of eye care and vision. And we've been running with it ever since.
Okay, well, your company's mission, how does it fit into today's Performance Vision Summit itself?
Sure. Yeah, we're here to really bring the next generation of products for performance vision. Performance is all about how do we not only shield ourselves from harms, which is what a lot of the focus of lens makers has been for the last several decades, but now how do we also help the people who are trying to live in a competitive world compete better, see threats and have higher safety, and also really make a dent in just the personal enjoyment of everybody's life. And so that's how we fit in to the mission. So we're really grateful that you guys sought us out, and that we can support in this way to bring this event to fruition. And already you have some really great speakers, and I'm interested in talking to all of them afterwards. Actually,
it's kind of cool that everybody's learning from everybody. That's a great thing. This is why we want to do this for a long time here. I don't think this is the first or the last. I think we're just going to keep this thing going. I love it.
That's right. And I think we should all take some time out of the day to play some video games, more video games these days.
Exactly.
And we can track our performance too.
Have a little more fun, yeah. But well, thank you personally and your company for sponsoring this. You've been a big sponsor, and so we want to make sure that you look at the kits that you're going to be offering later on, and you're going to talk more about that later on. But we'll just kind of introduce the fact that some of the proceeds from those kits will be coming to my 501c3 organization, nonprofit, and we really appreciate that you came on today, and especially with Dr. Valentine. He's the technical consultant for you. But anyway, along those lines, I'd like to get into a little bit of that. As you may know, I live in Minnesota, and Minnesota is known for every sport possible because we have all four seasons. So I think it'd be kind of nice to discuss some of the applications of your AI technology in terms of those sporting events. And let's just go over one that's always kind of fun here in Minnesota because it's 8 months out of the year, and that is winter sports. Can you give us any kind of, I don't know, insight into what you may have for people that like winter sports?
Absolutely. I'll just talk from a high level about the process of what we
Sure.
do, and then I'll let Dr. Valentine talk about the specifics.
Okay.
In any kind of application, we have ODs that come up to us and eyewear brands that come up to us and say, "Hey, I want to create the best lens for this particular use case. I want people to be able to see in the snow better, to see in the mountaintop better, and this is what it means in terms of the improvement to performance and safety and health." And then what we do is we take an approach looking at all the very specifics of the different colors that are in that scenery and in the viewpoint of that person, patient, or athlete. And what we have is what would be considered like a virtual thoropter that has millions and millions of lenses, and it just checks each lens millions of different times in order to find out how do we get the best and highest color resolution given the environment for that particular person. And then it selects the recipe on how to make that, and it tells us exactly this is how you make the ultimate lens that's optimized for that particular use case.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
that's cool.
So with that is, the old fashioned process of making and designing lenses is literally somebody comes up with an idea. Maybe you go to the back of your office and you start dipping tints, and you say, "Oh, okay, I think this tint might work, this tint might work," and then you go and try it out. So we just sped up that process, the evolution of that process, many millions of times, so that we select the best and can make vast improvements available to the market quickly. So maybe
Very, very
I'll let Keenan maybe describe a little bit more specifically about snow, kind of how we looked at the snow environments.
Okay, sure, thanks. So essentially, this is almost like gaming in from our previous panel, in the sense that in games you want to enhance reaction time, right? In snow sports, you also want to enhance your reaction time, especially that if you're making certain turns, if you're making certain moves, you want to make sure that you're um, performing well on the best patch of ground and so on. And certainly there can be physical dangers that if you're not seeing your environment very well. Um, so what these lenses do is that they really enhance the snow environment around you. And as we know, snow is rather similar looking. So they look very similarly at different depths, right? If you pile on different amount of albedo on the ground, which is snow falling on the ground. So the challenge has been, how do you differentiate different depths of snow? How do you differentiate ice from powdered snow and so on? And that's what our company have done. And the process that we've done it is very similar to almost like augmented reality. Although these are passive lenses, they're not electronic lenses. Um, in the same sense that uh, just like in esports, we want the lens, or for esports, it would be a display or a computer monitor to the to pass through as much of the color information into the three channels of our eye, the RGB channels of our eye, as much as possible, which are essentially just receptors for color. And so that's what our lenses do. And we've taken lots of data from the actual snow environment to see the different lighting conditions, to see the reflectivities of the snow fallen albedo on the ground, to see what are some intricacies in those wavelength that we can also enhance or attenuate as well. So that's the general process that we've done, taken in very real world data. And just like what Mr. Fong has said, it is that once we have all of this vast amount of input information, we in-house develop an AI engine that basically search through hundreds of millions of lens recipes and then optimize on the best one. And so that this process, in addition to taking in real world data, has really the combination of these two things have really changed how we prototype and make lenses at the factories. And that is our process.
Okay. Is the artificial intelligence much better than normal engineering techniques? How's that work?
For the types of eyewear that we do, I would definitely say yes. It's I would say leaps and bounds above the normal way of making sort of performance lenses, in the sense that we model how the eye sees color, we model how the eye sees the world around us. We developed a series of metrics, but the main one that's been very useful to us is called the color resolution factor. And this color resolution factor is very similar to how TVs and monitors are graded, right? When you go to Best Buy or Amazon or Costco, right? You have tens or even 100 TVs that you can choose uh, right out your hand. And the question is, how do you rate them? How do you compare them? So we've done something very similar for the lenses, and that's called a color resolution factor. And the idea is the higher the color resolution that a lens can pass through or generate for the eye, the better it is. Um, and in terms of AI, what it does is that it takes in all of these very complex color vision informations and models and just optimize and finds the top solutions out of feasible 100 million solutions. And so it really has allowed us to find the pinnacle of what lens solutions can be made with current science, as well as we when we prototype these lenses and when we make the first batch, we're 98% on target from what the model says from our testing. So it has really sped up the way we prototype as well. Just as how 3D printers have really revolutionized how prototyping devices has been done, from rocket engines to motorbikes, so on. The way that we prototype as well is really shorten the amount of time and the accuracy when it's compared to the final product.
Okay. How does everybody out there that would like these products or look at these products, how do they get a hold of them right now? What's the channel that we get them through, Mr. Fong?
So when we went to market, we partnered with certain brands that are putting it out there, primarily in Plano, and due to overwhelming demand.
Technical difficulties, apparently. Charlene, are we able to get Mr. Fong back on? Okay, I'm not sure, Dr. Valentine, are you able to answer that question about where can we obtain these products?
Sure. So currently, we have a growing number, and it's becoming a large number of brands that are carrying our fundamental technology. So you will see some of them branded as Volt, or generally their marketing is geared towards seeing more color and recently one of our brands was won the 2022 one of the best inventions by Time magazine. So generally, the marketing language from these brands is revolved around seeing more color, both for overall, for an everyday lens type, as well as some of our customers are performance lens related, where they really, really care about particular colors in the foreground. And they also care about how to mute or diminish particular background colors, and so on. So those are the typical ways of experiencing our lenses. Short of we just saying everybody what these brands are, but just look for marketing that has enhancing color vision for performance or for everyday use.
Okay. Can you explain to me, Mr. Fong or Dr. Valentine, what is I looked at your website and they had one product called Color Boost Depth. What is that?
This is a way of doing the color boost effect, which increases or enhances depth perception. And
Okay.
so what ends up happening is there's a range of colors that everybody can see in the world, especially when you're outside, and it's a finite number of colors. And then when we increase the number of colors that you can see, then you can start seeing more and more detail inside of your picture or inside of your vision. And as a result, you're able to see more detail and therefore increase of depth perception. So
Okay.
this was a very interesting phenomena where when we first started, we would take patients out and they would try it on, and we were more interested about the saturation of colors, like basically how vibrant does the world look? Does it look amazing? Do the flowers just look more alive, and so on? And they said, yes, absolutely, that's what we're seeing. But I think I can see better. And then this statement really stuck with us for a while. And we had to dig in to understand exactly what was happening. And what was happening is there's an increase in depth, there's an improvement in depth perception as a result of having more colors that you can see in the world that already exist out there in the world. You're just able to see it more. You're able to notice it more. And so then the picture, the resolution, and depth perception are increasing.
Great. I guess as an optometrist, the one that just kind of blew my mind a little bit more than the others have. I mean, the others did too, but this one is called Bright Boost because I've never had a patient say, "Yeah, doctor, make my world brighter." I've never heard that. They all say they want it dimmer. So that one, as you can probably see, is a little bit of a conundrum for me because the fact that I've never ever heard anyone say they want brighter. They always want dimmer. What's that about?
I'll let Keenan answer that one.
All right.
Yeah.
That's actually a great question. So, the answer is from a market perspective, for certain specific usages like driving, at nighttime driving or driving during sort of what during what's called the mesopic vision times, where drivers typically older drivers wants to see more, wants to have their vision not be as dark. There are other market segments like shooting sports at in the evening times, or when you have artificial lighting. There are other specific sports where, like during snowboarding, when the sun is not as much out as you would like, a condition called flat white, you actually want to see more. And so there are situations that are not sort of your most normal, your Florida sun is beating down on you. Yes, you definitely want to block out more sun. both for visual comfort, enjoyment, as well as the health of your eye. But there are other situations where you actually just want your world to be brighter because of the certain things that you're doing.
The other good answer. I like that. The other one that really is kind of interesting to me as an individual and as an optometrist is the one called Blue Boost. I thought that was interesting because I've actually tried the traditional blue blocking lenses and I didn't like it because it did affect color. So can you tell me a little bit about that? That's a really good concept because I'll tell you what, a lot of people don't like the color shift when they wear blue blocking lenses. Go ahead.
So yes, you're very right, and in reality, what a lot of these these yellowing or sometimes could be even orange
Orange, yeah.
blue blocking lenses do is that they remove a lot of your colored vision. Now, purportedly, sometimes you can gain in certain blocking of blue light that are bad for you or helping you to regulate the production of melatonin through your melanopsin receptors. But at the same time, the eye, as we all know, has other photopsin like your blue color cone. You will love to see blue color, right? So what we do is that in addition to offering blue blocking lenses, we not only rebalance the color that it corrects it to normal, but also enhances your color vision, because what essentially a blue blocking lens does is that it simulates the aging of the eye from a color vision perspective. As we age, our natural crystalline lens yellows, and if it yellows too bad, then you get cataracts and so on. So, right, most people don't want to have a yellow filter in front of their eye. So what we do, there we go. So what we do is that we want these blue blocking lenses to be both performing a eye health function without the detrimental effects of having a yellow filter in front of your eye.
Yes, doctor. That actually really, as an optometrist, I'm very, very interested in that because I can see that really being a very high demand product there. So I'm really, really excited about that. I'm excited about all of them, but this one here just hit me hard. Now the mood boost, that is interesting. I think anytime you see better in any way, it probably does grab your mood. But is there specifics about mood boost they'd like to say something about?
Yes. So we know that there are certain effects on the mood, somewhat with particular tints. I know different companies have come out with different tints that can affect the regulation of your mood. But at the same time, what we have found in additional level to that is that um, just because our eye is basically an RGB receptor, right? And so whereas TVs and monitors are sort of RGB producers of color, our eyes are the receptors. However, our receptors do have noise, just like any kind of electronic receptors, they have noise too, and so do our eyes. And when we reduce the noise in the sort of the light signal that is able to be received by our eyes, we're able to see a better picture. And so it's not so fuzzy. And by the reduction of noise in our color vision channels on our own bodies, then our mood also improves as well. So there's a couple of ways that a passive lens can improve on the mood.
So, Mr. Fung, if you don't mind, you were gone for just a little bit there, technically off the line. I'd like to give you another chance at that one. How will people access your products? Obviously, they're very good products. I'm very interested in personally, and I want to know what channel will they be able to obtain these products?
Sure. So you can, number one, access them inside of eyewear with a lot of our eyewear partners, eyewear brands, and a list of them will be made available to you. That's number one. Number two, we are now beginning our prescription program.
Okay.
So an individual OD or an ECP can order from us all of anything inside of our standard catalog in prescription, both single vision or progressive. And you can also order them in plano as well. So we're making it available to the world in the United States, so that you can anybody can have this and they can order it. And we're able to do fulfillment in about 1 week. So it's
Oh,
about a 1 week fulfillment turnaround. The
so
other, oh, sorry, go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead. I guess the thing that bothers me, or not bothers me, I shouldn't say, but concerns me, is that you talked about being individualized. I'm not sure, how do we individualize that if we're on the side of the prescribers? Well, how would we individualize it? Would we be individualized literally down to the person or down to the type of activity? I'm not sure.
Yes, what we have is a suggestion for which particular lenses inside of the standard catalog are most useful for the various activities. There
Okay.
is quite a bit of overlap depending on what you're trying to do,
Okay.
and we talk about all the different activities that you might be that your patients might be interested in, anywhere from competitive driving to road sports to trail sports to on the mountain to on the water, deep water, shallow water, so on and so forth. So these are all available. They're also available with all of the various lens technologies that you're normally that are traditionally they're available to you as well. Polarizer, no polarizer. We're making available with photochromics, without photochromics, mirror coating, no mirror coating, so on and so forth. So all of these things are available to you, and we are integrating color boost and improvement of color resolution into all uh, performance lenses, primarily focused on outdoor
So I can
activity.
see that those would open up a huge market opportunities for those that are private eye doctors that have their own private dispensaries, or opticians that are just working with an optometrist or working with all optometrists. Obviously, there's so many more glasses and so many more lenses they can sell now that would be very beneficial to their patients, and absolutely are justifiable based on that demand that you're creating as you start pushing these out to the real world. I think that the demand is going to be overwhelming, and I'm really happy for the public being able to access these, and you as a company being able to supply them. This is going to be exciting times coming, and thanks to you, Mr. Fong, and you, Dr. Valentine, this is going to be unbelievable. I've never seen this kind of big, open, huge market increase in my 40 years experience. This is really cool. I'm very excited.
Okay, great. Thank you. We're very excited to be here, and we're so happy with how this event is turning out.
Okay.
And we'll have a full session in just a little bit, so that Justin and Dr. Valentine can go through the wonderful portfolio of products. Thank you, guys. That was a great interview, Dr. Lamott. We just have some questions here I wanted to get the audience to be able to get answered before we move on to our next session. And Justin and Dr. Valentine, this is from Pierre. I see your kit includes polarized lenses. Computer screens have a polarizing filter laminated to the screen on an oblique axis. Does the polarizing filter orientation for gaming polarized lenses differ from regular polarized sunglasses? That's a great question, Pierre. I wondered the same thing.
Yes, that's actually a very good question, and typically only people who pay a lot of attention to displays ask. So thank you for that question. Yes, so for the gaming lenses, I don't foresee that we would put a polarizer on top of it unless it's for very specific purposes. Um, it is true uh, that traditional polarizers from displays and TVs does create its own polarized noise as well. So we're looking into that. But the first products that we're rolling out will not have a polarizer. That's the easiest way to go. But for more advanced products, we are looking into the noise that's actually being generated by the TV polarizer itself.
Would you recommend this for locum optometrists as well as private practices?
Maybe you'd have to explain to me what the difference between the two are. I'm unfamiliar with the difference between locum and private practice.
And I only know a little bit about locum optometry from previous events that we've done, but Dr. Lamont, locum is more like they go to, different locations as opposed to having like a set place to go. So
Yeah.
I guess the question is more related to, could a doctor prescribe and offer this product even if they aren't an owner or stationary at a private practice, and how could they become a prescribing doctor if they float to different locations?
Oh, absolutely. They can certainly offer this product one way in either setting. Just so everybody understands, we optimize the human color vision in the spectrum of the lenses themselves, and they're therefore agnostic on any kind of geometry of the lens. So, the dispenser or the optician and so on, they have a lot of expertise on what kind of geometric design of the lens will bring quite a bit of benefits. And then this would be an add-on to that, which can be used with any specific type of progressive design or single vision design or so on. So there's more and more all these kind of nuance and niche types of geometries, and this would be an add-on to all of that, and it would have no impact. It would be similar, the same to how you would sell your sunglass lenses currently. So I don't see that you would need any kind of specialty in order to do so.
And we have one last question. So Pierre says, I have a slight red-green color deficiency. Can your lenses compensate for this?
The answer is yes. So, it seems like Pierre is asking some great questions. So color vision deficiency, we do have lenses that specifically try to normalize the color vision that's seen by a patient with CVD, just because of essentially the noise level in a CVD patient is much higher than that is for a normal human being. So we do that as well. And we have some products out. But for our color boost lenses that are targeted towards the non-CVD population, they do work about 50% than that of a CVD lens as well. So there are some choices out there, but if you're looking for CVD specific lenses, we have those product line as well.
Awesome. We do have some leftover questions, but I'll pose them in the session that you guys do, just so we could take a little break in between. Dr. Lamont, I'll let you close us off.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Fong, and we love your products. We love what you're doing. I'm very excited to experience some of these things myself, actually, and suggest them for patients that make sense. One real quick last question, if you don't mind. I've been thinking about what particular products or product line would we recommend for the low-level macular degeneration person, not the person who's far into it, but just the beginning macular degeneration. Is there something there for them?
So for macular degeneration, so we're really a color vision company. So if you see that those patients with MD are beginning to have some noise in their color vision, or beginning to lose their color vision, or perhaps that in their elderly age, you see that their crystalline lens is becoming quite yellow and potentially becoming cataratic, we definitely have those products as well.
Okay. All right, good enough. Well, thank you very much, and you'll have time in a little bit to go ahead and expound upon what we talked about today. And again, just thanks so much, and we'll see you later on.